And we're back.
That was a very soft "we're back," but we'll take it.
So, hi, my name is Teodora Mitov, and I'm with.
Hi, my name is Jack Mollahan. I'm very excited to be here with my lovely co-host Teodora Mitov.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here with Jack too. So last semester, we had a radio show, and then now this semester we're doing another one, but we're rebranding, and now we're called Hotheads.
We are no longer Hype Hour. Hype Hour has now been trademarked. If you sell any of our merch anymore, we're gonna have to talk to our legal counsel, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah,
so,
we have
more Hype Head merch.
We're no longer sponsored by Kraft Mac and Cheese.
We're in conversation. We're trying to talk with them a little bit. Hopefully soon they'll return my calls, but it seems like not.
But yeah, so for this episode, we just wanted to give like a quick intro into what the show is gonna be like this year. Well, for this semester.
Not the year.
Not the year.
It's too much. So we're going to go into it really briefly. Last year, our show was kind of just an amalgamation of us talking about topics that we thought were fun. It didn't have as much direction.
And we also went off topic very easily.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
we'll
have about one day how you eat hot dogs for breakfast. And that's just that's way off topic.
I don't even remember what the topic was for us to get there. But yeah, so I think for this semester, I think we're gonna focus a lot more on one topic per show.
The goal of this show is 100% going to be like politics and society related. So I'm sorry about that in advance. But on top of it, the goal is, and forgive me if I'm wrong here, I think we're both kind of bringing in the same perspective of both of us, like Teodora and my perspective are not the same in many aspects. We're still very good friends, of course. I have to say that for legal reasons as I look into the camera.
What do you mean?
But we're still very good friends. But I know I've expressed to you how much I do like a certain news show. It's called Breaking Points. Very good on YouTube. Teodora also loves them. She believes that they're going to save mainstream media.
Yo.
But kind of the goal of this is to deal with one topic in a manner that brings a lot of as much information as we possibly can, and then some of our own values and thoughts on the issues. That way we can try to at least come to terms with a way to maybe solve the problem, or at least go after the problem from a different direction. Because we think that, although, and I will wholeheartedly say this about your opinions aren't necessarily different, but they come from a different angle on the issue, and they definitely try to solve it in a different way that's not entirely like the most mainstream way. You call it nuanced. I would say it's nuanced.
Oh, I like that.
It's definitely in some ways more effective than other like methods that someone might traditionally impose on a problem.
Yeah, I think what Jack was trying to say is my opinions are always correct, and I bring a new voice to certain topics.
All right, that's starting to listen right?
So but yeah, no, I agree. I think Jack and I talk a lot. When it comes to politics, like we both I do talk a lot. And I think I get interrupted a lot by a certain someone.
Because you'll be going on a tangent, I'll be like, wait, I'm gonna lose this thought if I don't step in here real quick.
But yeah, no, I think we have the same foundation in political like view. Does that make sense? I think we have like the same we agree same on foundation.
80% of issues.
Right? And then the 20% is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, the 20% is where it definitely gets Teodora very riled up.
What do you?
I do. I'm cool and like consistent, and then Teodora's like, "Oh yes, but think of X," and I'm just kind of like, "I mean, sure, maybe, yeah, but like and then there's a lot of throwing of objects at me.
There is no throwing of any objects.
There's a lot of remarks about One Tree Hill at some point.
It's the best show that has ever been created, and I stand by that statement. And
I'm gonna remain neutral on this topic.
You have not seen enough of it to have an opinion on it not being that great.
I think seeing enough of something to not develop an opinion isn't entirely a good way of going about things, because like there's a lot of things like I know penguins are adorable, but I haven't seen a lot of penguins, right? Like that's not a.
You wanna know
Like,
what's funny? When I was a kid, I wanted a pet penguin, and I genuinely looked into how I can
Did
have
you
a
read?
pet penguin.
Did you read Mr. Popper's Penguins? A bunch
No,
of
I
times?
didn't.
You've never read that book?
No, I
You
didn't.
gotta read that book. Good book.
You're also talking to the girl that like my favorite book was Green Eggs and Ham up until like the like 8th grade. So I at one point I believed I was the reincarnation of Dr. Seuss because he died on my birthday.
I do know that Dr. Seuss died on your birthday. I don't know that necessarily the reincarnation of Dr. Seuss.
Because when I read Dr. Seuss books, I just felt like I was one with Seuss, you know?
You and the Seuss, the one Seuss in the same. You
Yeah,
know?
red fish. What was it? One fish, two fish,
You don't even
red
know the
fish.
names.
Blue.
You don't even know the names.
I
feel
did.
like
I
Dr.
just
Seuss and
started
I are the
wrong.
same, but I can't remember all of his books. The Cat in the Hat's great. Like,
Definitely overrated.
you think The Cat in the Hat is overrated?
Yeah, you know what I like? I like the Lorax.
So let me get this straight. Your
Because
favorite
environment.
book is about a bunch of people cutting down a bunch of trees.
No, it's about
And a Danny DeVito-esque character tries to save the day.
it's about saving the world. And could you tell?
One tree at a time. Save the
Yeah.
world one tree at a time.
It's a good segment into politics because environment. Even though I don't think we're even going to talk about the environment, we have
We
like
could talk about it.
we
try.
could.
We have a brief rundown.
Yeah, we have like a few weeks set up for like few topics set up for like the next few weeks of like what we're going to talk about. And maybe we might even have guests.
I think we should definitely try to do some guests.
Yeah.
I think it would be very fun to have guests. If we can see if we can get the call-in line going, you know, maybe. I don't know if they'll let us do that, but I think it would certainly be fun if we get the call-in line going. If we get some, you know, people like, hey, like, we think this is a great idea, but we also think that, you know, aliens are the problem here. Like, if we get a whole lizard people argument going on,
What?
you know, like something fun. You know, I really do want like a little bit of like, I don't want to be so hyper serious, right? Because I feel like we want to be serious, but I also want at some points for our discussion, like part of it with I'm gonna like, you know, give a bit of one of the episodes away real quick. If you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, Teodora hasn't. I have a number of times. I think it's a really important movie culturally because it could happen in a disturbing way. It could definitely happen. And Teodora hasn't seen the movie yet. She's going to see the movie for the episode, or so she claims.
I will, because okay. Anyways, the whole episode is gonna be based on the movie, so of course I have to watch it, or else it just wouldn't. I can't form an opinion.
Yeah, we're gonna try to talk about some of the scientific stuff around it, like is idiocracy possible? Is it realistic? How are possible trends going, right? And then inserting our opinion and the kind of some of the interpretation, like the interpretation of the data, where it leads us, like which avenue are we going around? Because I and Teodora are both soon to be social scientists, allegedly. Someone's going to give us a degree at the end of it. So, I mean,
Can you believe it? Women in STEM.
Yes.
I'm technically in STEM.
Yes, just the two of us are both women in STEM. I actually had a professor today. It was a philosophy class, and he was going on about something involving, you know, social scientists. And then he looked at me and he goes, "Of course, for you, Mr. Mollahan, a social scientist yourself." And I was like, "I don't know if we can say that. I don't feel like that's a correct classification of who I am."
Do you believe that? Like that's in like a few months we'll actually be like
for me,
real professionals.
Realistically, for me, a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what you're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I literally don't know. I think you should just stay the other semester, just for funsies. Just, you know, who's gonna take over your floor, you know?
You know, I feel like whoever does take over my floor will do an amazing job. And I think I will leave a lasting impact on the people who I appreciate. And I also know I will most certainly be in some people's nightmares as well.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Correct.
Everyone who watches this is just
everyone is going to think, "Wow, I should not speak to this person. This person's crazy."
No, for sure.
Which is not untrue. I am my own form. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone on a weird range of topics already.
Yeah. So I think since this is just the intro episode, I think do you want to give like an intro into your own political
Oh boy.
like
Why don't you go first? Because
I will go
I don't know
first.
how you want to do this.
Okay, so I'll say personally I feel like I am a lot more I'll appreciate good politics. So when it's and no matter what the topic is, I like a good discussion, I like a good debate, and I like when things get heated. And I enjoy it. And also this is why we called it Hotheads, just because the two of us, I feel like
Heated debate didn't sound like a good name, but hotheads, because we have been called hotheads before. Like, oh my god, you guys are some real hotheads over there. We were like, yeah, maybe that's I came up with the name, obviously, but it's a good adaptation and like a just what's
yeah.
going on in the room, how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely very emotional and hot-headed. I don't know. I got nothing going on.
Nothing going on behind those eyes.
Nothing going on upstairs. Nothing going on upstairs.
You've had a long day. It's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know. There's still work to do. But yeah, continue.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah.
I've been accused.
Oh, you've been accused of that before? Yeah. So I would say that personally I feel like um I'm interested in a lot of those like deep conversations, those very because I think if there's any way I take from Socrates in that sense where I feel like discussion is very important and it's important to ask questions to get to answers. And if you ask logical questions and you go through every step logically, you're going to get to a logical solution. And I feel like that's what's really needed in our politics today. And I think that we get to these illogical solutions. Is that a word? Illogical? Yeah. We get to these like illogical solutions and these illogical ideas. And it's all because somewhere along the lines, something happened that just wasn't how it should be. So, I don't know. I like talking about it. I like looking into things. I also feel like I have generally a more and again, this could just be biased because it's my own opinion, but I just feel like I have like a good opinion on things. So I feel like
You did claim earlier, I'm always right.
well, because I am. I very few things I feel like because I feel like if anything, I'm more like based on like data.
Yeah.
I'll look at
But
so
I
I'll
mean,
look at the way that things
quote,
are.
you were kind of quoting, Aristotle. Now I'm gonna quote.
I was not quoting
Who
Aristotle.
you quoting?
I was
Sorry.
Socrates.
Oh, Socrates. I was thinking of Aristotle. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I'm often.
Well, I mean, yeah, often
I'm
correct,
gonna
not always.
quote Mark Twain here and I'm gonna say that there are lies, darned lies, and then statistics. So I mean, statistics. You kind of pointed out statistics, data, kind of the same thing. Pretty easy to lie about.
What do you mean?
I'm not saying anything. We'll save that for another episode.
Okay. Which episodes particularly so that I know which one to prepare for?
Like we prepared for this one. Yeah.
No, well, this one was just the intro, so
This
we
has been
didn't
a
have
rough
to.
week for us, though, to be fair. I'll give us
No.
a break.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've barely been. I haven't slept in a long time,
Well,
so it's been a long week. But no, and it's only Wednesday, so I am not
I'm
excited.
excited for Thursday. Believe it or not, I'm excited for Thursday because you know what that means? Then it's Friday. When it's Friday, it's basically Saturday.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is it's almost Sunday.
And then you have to start the week all over again.
Yeah, but I mean at least it's Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know. So me and Socrates, we are one. Borderline. He's like the first philosopher.
And
so
he was also from Serbia.
No, he wasn't actually. He was from Greece.
He has blonde hair and glasses.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they had that technology back in the day.
Blonde hair?
No.
Blonde hair.
No, the glasses.
Glasses. I'm sure they could put something together. If they could figure out complex discussions, I'm sure.
No. They figured out that the Earth didn't they like the ancient Greeks like they figured out that like the Earth was round. And they also figured out the way that sounds like it's so hard to figure out. But like they figured out the actual like dimensions of the Earth and they were off by like a really small percentage.
Yeah, I think it was I remember reading something, I think it was by Carl Sagan, or I watched a video by Carl Sagan that he was figuring out that there was a method that the ancients used to figure out if the Earth was round because they had two obelisks
Mhm.
one in Alexandria and one in a farther portion during like the Macedonian Empire, and they studied to see at the same time of day, right, how the shadow fell on each obelisk.
Yeah. And that's how they
determined that
knew.
the world was not flat.
Yeah.
It was in turn,
It was
circular.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how they determined it. But it was a guy that started with letter T. That's all I remember. Who determined
We're
it.
college educated.
Yeah.
And we can't even remember who found out that the world was circular.
It was an ancient Greek name, you
I
know.
mean, honestly, if we're not remembering, it's probably not important. That's why we remember all the information about the Kardashians, because that's so important.
You know what? What do you have against the Kardashians?
Nothing.
You're just jealous.
Nothing. I'm
just
so jealous of the Kardashians. I am so jealous
You are.
of the Kardashians. Wow.
Yeah.
What a life. I would love to marry Kanye. Or whoever the other ones they've married.
Oh.
You know, all of the ones.
You know, Pete Davidson is single now, so you could.
I mean, that's fair.
What?
You know, Pete Davidson, I feel like Pete Davidson's a good guy.
I like Pete Davidson. He's one of my favorite.
As a tall, skinny white dude.
Oh wow.
I'm Team Pete Davidson. Because how could you not be? Thank you. President Cameron. Him and I pro Team Pete.
Yeah, I'm also Team Pete. I like Pete. He's a great comedian. I also I think he's leaving SNL, right?
Yeah, I think he's left SNL already.
Oh, he already has?
Yeah, I think he's already left. I think he left.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. I think you are right. I remember him making that announcement. That's crazy. He's been wanting to leave for a long time. And he was making a lot of jokes about like not being there anymore. So I just thought it was interesting how like he stayed for so long after that.
Maybe he was just unsure of it, you know. I don't know. I really don't know. But I wish him the best. I know he's listening right now. He's your one viewer. Good old Pete Davidson's up here.
Oh, it's not your besties?
Oh, who knows? Did you tell anybody about the show today?
No, I did not.
We are, we're really great at everything except marketing. We need to start getting better at marketing.
I'll market the show when we actually like begin with like the big topics.
You're gonna market the show.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're still on social media. I'm not on social media anymore.
Well, you know what? You should join social media.
I'm content not joining.
Because you know what? I was really upset at. I send Jack a lot of memes and a lot of funny videos and stuff, and for a while he's like responded to them, maybe sent some back too, and then like
okay, you can't say I sent some back. I sent quite a few back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I was like, this one day, I was like, you know what? I haven't. No. I was like, I haven't like. I don't think I haven't had a notification that you like reacted to anything or you sending anything. So I was like, what happened? So I go into like our messages and I was like, oh wow, I've been sending you stuff for like a solid week without you responding. And then you were like, I didn't notice. I did not notice.
That's what I'm getting at. You didn't notice me.
This was also over the summer when I was working 40 hours and not like
I'm not feeling the love here, dude.
You know, it's fine. You didn't have to. You also didn't tell me you got off of it. So if anything, I'm not feeling the love.
No, you didn't. Why do I have to? You didn't notice me.
What do you mean?
Even if I had or hadn't have gone, you still would have noticed me.
Also, actually, you can't say anything because I still made time to hang out with you this summer, even with my crazy schedule.
I'd clap, but I feel like it would mess up the microphones, and I don't want people to have to adore that. But imagine clapping slowly.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway, so do you want to give now your how you would
I'll try to
present not be Socrates?
No, I'll try to not be Socrates, Aristotle, any philosopher. I don't think I belong in philosophy.
I do.
You believe I belong in philosophy?
No, I believe I belong.
Okay, well, let's get specific here. So yeah, my big thing on politics and political theory is if you're going to institute it, you have to be realistic about certain things. It doesn't mean that you can't be forward-thinking or positive. It means that you have to present, obviously, in a logical sense, but sometimes I don't think logic is realistic, right? I think that some logical arguments lack an understanding of human nature. Because human nature, in my opinion, is not always logical. It doesn't follow the logical order of events. Because sometimes people in mass follow, right? People follow their feelings and opinions, and sometimes those are not logical, right? So for me, when it comes to my political opinion, one, I don't like hypocrisy that comes from,
I agree.
institutions, whatever institution they may be. If it's an institution of power, it should honestly possess a very forward and honest perspective of what's going on, right? So, like, if, for instance, we're going through economic, I don't know, stifling or bad economic times, and traditionally an economic entities that rate how the economy is doing would say, hey, we're in a recession. You wouldn't then say, oh, well, we're going to change how we title what a recession is to then make it seem more reasonable what's going on and seem like it's less your fault, and then go out on a stage and parade around, oh, our economy is doing great.
Can you be any more discreet? I just wanted
I could be a little less direct, I'm sure, at some point in the day, but today's not the day.
Yeah.
So, things like that are what bother me. And then, when people, I think, I also believe that there is a certain amount where, yes, I believe in compromise, but I also think that when it comes to certain moral issues and certain societal issues, right? Because I guess moral issues and societal issues are kind of the same thing, but not always.
More or less.
You have to be. You can't parse it, right? You have to be pretty straightforward and pretty honest about how you're going to take these issues on. You have to. I don't like. I understand that language is a very complex thing, but it's also a very important thing because how you label something, how you stipulate the language of something is very crucial, right? If you do it wrong, if you kind of decide, hey, you're not direct and honest about what's going on, it devalues the whole conversation. It devalues the whole language. It kind of runs into this thing. It's important what happens with language and how we say things and how direct we are, and how indirect we are as well, right? Because let's not tiptoe around issues. Obviously, it's for some people it's very important that we do because it makes them look less bad. But I think a more direct approach is sometimes a little bit better because it certainly handles the issues a lot quicker, especially when it comes to handling a society.
What did you say about the emotion part? Just because I wanted to say something about it, and I want to make sure that I don't put words in your mouth that you didn't say.
I think sometimes logic becomes flawed because it gets emotion instituted. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, and I'm not saying I don't do it either, right? The show is called Hotheads. That implies that we are very emotional people. So there is a degree, though, to where sometimes I look at it, I'll be like, I don't know, that's kind of, there's some emotion construed into that. There's some amount of, I don't know, maybe I haven't quite developed enough of a personal philosophy to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But in my opinion, sometimes logic gets flawed because it gets filled with emotion on a certain level that it's almost, I don't want to say uncontrolled, right? Because that doesn't sound like the best word.
Okay. I thought I disagreed with you, but I do agree with you. Now that you explained it more. No, we do agree with that one. But I would say in a different way, mostly because I wouldn't call it logic anymore if it becomes emotional. Because the way that I see, especially with politics, I think politics becomes a problem when people make it emotional. I think that you're supposed to have, I don't think that if your political opinion and your personal opinion, it's okay to have one personal opinion and one political opinion. And I think that's important because I think once you decide to mix the two, then politics becomes way too emotional, and then you're never going to get anything done, and you're not going to get anything solved. And so I think we agree on that.
But I also would like to say, because this is the difficult part about me is I see a lot of I don't know why, but irritatingly, I see a lot of different sides of the issue. Sometimes it's irritating me because then I don't know how to make a decision.
It's the social scientist in you.
I know. I really, I'm just such a big thinker. So the problem that I have sometimes is sometimes politics does require a little bit of emotion. If you're someone that lives in a place that has very few jobs, and now all of a sudden your local politician or the government itself is or the people who are employing you, right? If you have a major employer like a car manufacturer, maybe it's a different industrial job, or like you're working in coal mining, and all of a sudden these things get shipped overseas. That's a very emotional thing to have to deal with. And I mean, according to logic, right? The logical sense is, well, the company needs to make more money. But then the emotional sense is, well, I can't feed my kids, and you're just feeding your bottom dollar, right? So it's kind of trying to figure out how both of these can get related into a similar sense, where there's an understanding that in the society that we live in, right, there's a belief that corporations have a right to get, increase their profits, but a person also has a right to feed their family. And if they're not being provided, right, how much are we really doing? Because I mean, corporations, although corporations are legally viewed as people, which I'm sure we can talk about again, corporations are also made up of people. You can't have a corporation or a corporate entity without at least one person, right? And realistically, if you just have a corporation made up of one person, it's you have to be the sole producer. So you have to manufacture, you have to get everything, and on top of it, if you're bringing in raw goods to produce a product, right? Unless you're getting and cultivating those raw materials yourself, you're not really, like, they're still intertwined in some way. That like company can't exist without others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the other problem too, is that too often people don't want to accept that everything requires people in some sense. You have to have some relation with other people.
Yeah, but it still doesn't mean that corporations should be given that people.
Yes. Yeah, it shouldn't mean that they should be able to kind of like wipe a group of people out just because they feel that they don't help increase their bottom dollar. But it also doesn't mean that corporations should not, like, they should be mandated to not look out for their bottom dollar, because then that also runs into play of, in the game that we're playing in, whether willingly or unwillingly, corporations still have to turn a profit
Mm-hmm.
to some degree, So I mean, it's kind of the debate of like, how much do corporations have to turn a profit, and how much do people have to be supported by this corporation, or where does it go? And we'll go over that. I'm sure we're going to go over that a lot. I already know we're going to go over that next week with our topic. Our topic next week. Can we announce?
Yeah, I was thinking we should probably
It's
do that.
going to be. We don't want to present just a topic without presenting the whole problem, right? So we're going to go over student loan debt next week. I know, right? Real barn burner, real big topic.
I feel like it's
Everyone's
a good.
talking about it. This is the rage at parties right now.
I feel like it's a good first topic because it's also like back to school season.
Some people, when they talk about back to school season, their thought is, oh, I got to get my kid, a book bag, pens, papers. We're over here like, let's talk about student loan debt and how it's going to affect you and your kid in the future when they get pushed into the inner workings of higher education.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna start off with, the new policy that Biden proposed. So we'll give what we think on that, and then also go into, I guess, just how it got to where it is today and what the actual issue with student loan debt is.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us to emphasize during that time is that the views expressed on this show are not that of Iona University.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good
that's
point.
That's a big statement that we're going to have to make as well, right? These are our own. Obviously, they'll be appropriate and reasonable, but they are not the views of this institution. As much as we love Iona University,
love it. We're not. We don't represent.
This is our findings after our own research, and then also findings at the core of what we view the problem to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to talk about a lot of higher education stuff. Hopefully we can get enough research done. Unlike this week where we were unable to, but I know we will next week. I don't think we will. I know we will, and yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think we can.
You wanna?
Yeah, we can wrap it up here. And then
you're the producer, so I mean, you determine. As producer and co-host.
Yeah, producer, co-host, face of.
Oh, yeah, out of everyone's face, mine probably shouldn't be on.
I'm glad we agree on one thing. I'm kidding.
One thing. That's the role of this whole thing. We're going to agree on one thing. We're going to come to one solid conclusion on how to fix the problems of America.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we can do this for 30 minutes now. That's crazy. Wait, is it 30 minutes?
Yeah. 30 minutes? Actually, I don't know.
This goes by... this is going to be our first time doing a full hour show in a semester. Last year
No, we
didn't
did
do
one.
it.
We did one for an hour, I think, last
We
year.
did one.
We
Maybe
did
it's the
one for
first
an
or
hour.
second one.
Because no, I don't. Oh wow, I don't remember what it was, but I know there was one that it was a topic. I forgot what it was. We can look back into it, but it was a topic that you weren't. We just ended up talking about it a bunch, and you had somewhere to go, but you ended up not going to your thing, so we could finish. So we can finish the talk.
I rarely do, but if I do it, it's because I'm having a much more fun time in the moment.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, but yeah, thanks for watching, and then next week, I guess, stay tuned for student loans.
Can't wait for you guys to join us in the new WIUR studio. It's been revamped. Cam, it's looking great in here, and this is gonna be, no more Killian observing us in the corner. So I'm very excited for this, and we look forward to speaking with you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.